Welcome to Everyday Cooking with Ann. Today we're going to be making one of my favorite and my children's favorite dishes that we have been making for years. We're going to be making meatball wontons and fried rice that goes with it as well, and also an amazing sweet and sour sauce to go along with it to dip it in. It's so delicious. Let's get started. It's our amazing sweet and sour sauce. I'm going to put in a 3/4 cup of sugar. I've already got mixed together a 1/2 cup of red wine vinegar mixed with a tablespoon of soy sauce. We're going to put that in. I'm going to measure right here a little bit of, only about a 1/4 cup of pineapple juice. I just got that out of my pineapple chunk can, and I'm putting that in as well. I'm also putting in about 3 tablespoons, and I'm just eyeballing it here, of ketchup. So 1, 2, 3. No need to measure that and mess up a spoon. And I'm going to turn the heat on here. Mix this up a little bit. And I'm going to be adding in about a tablespoon of cornstarch, a teaspoon of salt, and a 1/4 teaspoon of ginger. Those are my dry ingredients that are going to come in here and thicken it up a little bit. So I'm going to add that here. Now this sweet and sour sauce you can make homemade and make a lot of it and have it in your refrigerator for anything that you want to add a little sweet and sour to. It's so delicious, and homemade is so much better than anything you buy at the store. And this sauce is amazing. I think it's the combination of pineapple juice with the vinegar and the sugar. It is so, so delicious. Let me show you what it looks like when it's completely done. I'm getting the cornstarch mixed into it right now so it's not lumpy. Once this comes to a boil, you just need to let it cook for a minute maybe, or 30 seconds. And then you're going to be all set and ready to have it on the wonderful, anything you like with sweet and sour sauce. Today we're making this to go with our wontons and fried rice that we're making. Looks like most of the cornstarch is mixed in. So now we're just waiting for this to boil. You know when it's finished too is when it does boil and it looks translucent. This Asian chili sauce gives it a really unique flavor as well. Okay, our sweet and sour mixture looks really good. It's just the perfect consistency. I'm going to turn it off now, but you can see that it's bubbling and boiling up. Oh gosh, this is so good. I wish I could just take a big bite of it right now. Okay, we're going to turn this off and let it thicken up a little bit more and keep it on the stove, and then we're going to go ahead and make our wontons and fried rice. We're making the Asian meatballs that go into the wontons that we're going to be making with our wontons and sweet and sour sauce. What I have is a 1/2 pound of ground beef, and I always like to mix it with pork. And this is a hot sausage from Jimmy Dean. This is a 1/2 package. It's a 1/2 pound as well. So I have a whole pound altogether. The hot will give it a little bit more spice. I'm going to be adding some breadcrumbs, about a cup. I'm going to be adding 4 green onions, all chopped fine. That's going to give it a lot of flavor. I'm going to be adding 1 egg. I'm going to be adding a couple of tablespoons of soy sauce. And then a few seasonings, a little bit of ginger, probably maybe about a 1/2 teaspoon of that. A little bit of salt. No, you don't want to get it too salty because you've got other spicy sausage that's going in there. Salt and pepper, maybe a 1/2 teaspoon altogether. Okay, and then I'm going to take this and mix this up thoroughly. Might be a little bit dry with just 1 egg, so depending on if you need to, add a little bit of water. So I'm going to just start squishing this like I do a meatloaf. That's the best way to get it put all together and melded all together with all the spices as well. Okay, the next step is that we're going to use wontons. These are the wonton wrappers. I don't know what brand you might have in your store, but these are the ones I'm going to be using. You can see we're going to be making wontons with sweet and sour sauce, just exactly like on the picture. That's what we're going to be making. Okay, so they come in a package of 50. So here are the wonton. It's basically an alimentary paste. That's what they call it. And how I put these together, kind of Chinese style, is you take one of the wrappers. So this is a little bit, takes a little bit of time and energy to make this, but if you ever make this for your family or friends as an appetizer, in my cookbook it's under appetizer, but we like to even eat a meal out of this because it's so, so good. So you're gonna make a little bit of a meatball here, and then you're gonna make a triangle and mash it all together here. Now what I did was I took my finger in some water here and I moistened two sides of it so that it would adhere to it. Then I take it like this and I make kind of a little diaper looking thing. And then I just put a little curl on that right there and I put it in here. So let's make another one now. You can see how it works. Now this whole pound we'll use all 50 wontons. But once you start eating these, you can't eat just one, of course. Everybody needs about 5 or 6 of these. So once again, I'm going to show you how I make the meatball. I moisten both ends there. You want to have these totally tight because when you put them in the oil, ready to fry, you don't want anything sputtering out, leaking out. So you need to make sure that they are secure. Okay, and we're just going to line these up like that. We're going to make another type of wonton, which is my husband's favorite, is a cheese. Now I've got sharp cheddar cheese, mild cheese, but sharp is really, really good. You moisten the edge of the wonton and you put the cheese right in there, right up to the edge. You seal it. Do the same thing you did with the other meatball wonton. And there you go. It's all ready to go in the deep fat fryer, and it will also just bubble up and be cheesy, yummy. Okay, we're going to put the next batch in. In this pot, I'm putting just 4 at a time. I don't want to have too many so they don't stick together. I'm going to move them around like this to keep them frying evenly. I have my oil on about medium. I'm not sure what temperature that would be, but it's about right to make sure that they brown evenly and that the meatballs are cooked through. Just barely cooked through, actually, because you want them to be very nice and moist too. Okay, we're going to take these out right here and put onto our paper towel to drain until ready to eat. Push together. These have the cheddar cheese in it. They won't take very long. These are a favorite, so if you ever want an appetizer. By the way, this recipe is in my cookbook. It's the last recipe under appetizers under the W for wontons and sweet and sour sauce. So I used a different sweet and sour sauce recipe that I found. The other one in the book is just as good. This one I think is a little better than the one I'm showing you today. The recipe for the wontons and sweet and sour sauce are in the description below under Show Me, as well as the fried rice recipe that we'll be doing today as well. Okay, here we go. Under Show More. Okay, this is what the wontons with the cheese in, the cheddar cheese, look like. We're going to drain those as well. And we're ready to serve our wontons. We have the meatball wontons that had the meat with the hot sausage. And then we also have the cheesy wontons. You can see what those are too. They're very nice. And these are all fried up just beautiful and golden. This is our sweet and sour sauce. You can add some of this to your rice. I highly suggest if you're feeding a crowd to double your recipe on the sweet and sour sauce.